Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Sagittarius. This is your February 2021 soul story. So if you have your sun, rising or moon in Sagittarius, this is a general reading, but you might find that some of these messages and insights may help to support you navigate the influences that are coming up this month. So I'm going to open up your reading with the energy of the Ten of Pentacles, and we are moving into this Aquarius-filled sky with the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter all making its presence known. And the themes that are working for you in this activation of your third house mean that there's something about bringing it all back into the moment, really narrowing down your focus to the important details. That's what's going to give you a level of security and help things to come to a point of fruition and culmination. Now, it was a really lovely quote that I was reading earlier today and that just struck me as I was linking into your energy, Sagittarius, from Tanya Marco. And it goes, bringing light to your darkness is nothing compared to deciding what you're going to do with all that power. And I really had such a beautiful burst of invigoration when I was kind of tapping into that for you, because there's something happening through this month of February for you where you're really coming to terms and coming to a place of acceptance about something within you that has ignited, that has opened up, that has been discovered. Now, you might not fully appreciate what you're going to do with it yet or how fully to command that energy, but there's something for me about the weightiness of that Ten of Pentacles, looking at something coming into a point of full bloom and fruition, that I'm identifying with something that's going on within you. And I think that as we look into this energy of February, and we have a Mercury retrograde taking place in Aquarius, there's a beautiful opportunity for you to rediscover and also kind of link back to something valuable from the past or something that you've known about yourself and bring it back into the present moment, repackage it, redefine it, make it bigger, brighter, bolder, and more powerful than you ever have before. And that setting that as a tone for how you're going to move through this month is really going to give you the opportunity to use what you know and to develop what you have. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, of course, speaks to us about those environments, within a family dynamic, perhaps with property, within the home. And so there could be themes playing out in this aspect of your life that are going to be front and center stage through the month of February. We have a beautiful new moon coming in on the 11th, and there's a Venus and Jupiter conjunction happening right then, which is going to give some really sweet alignments and again suggest that something valuable, something auspicious may well make its presence known in your timeline on your journey through the course of February. Now, it might not give you everything that you need in order to realize a certain goal, dream, desire or ambition, but it certainly should give some validation and a strong sense of synchronicity coming in to really give you a warm boost around that energy. I think you're being invited to ensure that you don't underestimate yourself and your influence through the course of February, Sagittarius. You're really well poised to look at the way in which you have directed and invest your energy and take stock of that and now identify what the next logical step feels like for you. Now, Mars in Taurus works in that 6th house energy for you, Sagittarius. So it's about what underpins you. What support systems do you need to put in place for yourself? What rituals, what activities, who do you need to pull in to help you achieve what you need to through the course of this month, okay? Now, Mercury moves direct on the 20th, but just ahead of that, we have this really pressured, tense-filled square between Saturn and Uranus. It's the first of 3 happening in 2021. The second is going to be June 14th, and then again December 24th. Happens every 14 years. We were working with this energy last year. There's more conversation going to be taking place in 2022, and really it's about this balance between our need to control and our need for freedom. So what makes us feel emotionally secure, where we really want to feel that sense of nurturing and safety, where we're rebelling against how we are being controlled or where we have no control in our life, all these themes coming to the surface, and then that desire to want to break free, to liberate, to charge forward, to initiate that sense of revolution within ourselves. And so your Seven of Pentacles here, you are in deep assessment mode, which is perfect during retrograde energy. You tend to have this desire, Sagittarius, of course, to go big picture and to really look into the horizon and down the line. But third house energy is very immediate. It's very short term, and it's asking you to just put that to one side just for the moment till you deal with what's right in front of you. So narrowing it down, like we said, going to the details of things is going to help you to pick up something that perhaps you've missed, or to realize something more in the nuance and kind of the gentle aspect of what could be missed or overlooked. And that might feel a little bit like you're going against the grain. It might feel even a little bit uncomfortable for you, but there's real value and merit in kind of allowing yourself to sit in that space for long enough to really see what's surfacing and what's coming through for you. It's also a time that I feel many of you, to a certain degree, we've got that you reap what you sow energy. And, hopefully for most of you, that's going to come through by way of bringing something to a point of really nice fruition, especially as we make our way towards that beautiful full moon in Virgo on the 27th of the month, okay? But we do have that tension playing out in the background, so be aware that is going to impact you and perhaps split your energy slightly, or maybe even make you feel slightly uncertain or doubtful about a certain course of action or a decision that was already locked in stone and maybe is now up for review again. Don't be rattled by it, Sagittarius, okay? Retrograde energy is just the perfect time to make sure that you've dotted and crossed everything that you need to. And obviously it's not always the best time from an agreement, partnership, kind of signing anything legal anyway. So if you can hold off till after the 20th of the month, that's going to serve you much better. But don't let that Two of Swords put you into a state of indecision, okay? I think it's important that the evaluation is active and progressive. Remember, retrograde might slow things down. It's not bringing everything to a halt. All the other planets are moving in a direct motion. And with such a stellium of Aquarius air energy, there is a fast, quickening momentum that is building, that's asking you to keep moving forward. Now we have Sun in Pisces coming through on the 18th of the month, and Venus enters Pisces on the 25th of the month. So that's coming into your heart space, home and family. Perhaps connected into children, even the way you're taking care of your own inner child. But there's a really positive boost of energy that wants to illuminate something for you. And I feel like it's important that you are considering how you communicate new rules, new plans, new boundaries, a new plan. It's just like, I think sometimes it feels like what's happening within your own thought forms and some of the shifts and changes that are happening very dynamically for you aren't always being communicated or understood in the right way by people around you. And so with retrograde, it might make it even more challenging, but there is a requirement, I think, for you to make the time, take the time for the people that are invested and are a part of your world, or in a relationship with you in some form, personally, professionally, socially, to understand where you're coming from. That's going to make an enormous difference to just allowing you to get on with things and to feeling like you don't have to keep backtracking to allow people to catch up. So taking time at the beginning or at the onset, at the outset of something is going to be really helpful. Now, I do feel that there's a sense of things being called into question. Now that might be by you, or it might be an experience of that coming at you. If that is the case, we are looking at things as a work in progress at the moment, okay? A work in progress. And so be adaptable and be open-minded with yourself and with others, because what you might find is that, you know, some of the things that are challenged, or some of the things that you feel initially from an emotional perspective pissed off to hear or to kind of be on the receiving end of, could actually give you a breakthrough or an illumination of something really brilliant, or it will lead you off in the direction of a new inspiration that's going to be really valuable. Okay, there is a tremendous amount of supportive energy, particularly through Aquarius season, with that air energy for you to see the potential and the ripple effect of what you're going to get involved with, you know, whether it's coming in on an initiative on a humanitarian perspective, whether it's about something that you're trying to do to advance or progress and support the family within your friendship or your social circle or your clients in your business. Anything that's group related is coming in and being highlighted really favorably for you. There is a sense by way of relationship that it's about doing the work, putting the work in. And again, this need to communicate, but also just be very present. Sometimes retrograde can really take us back into the nostalgia of the past, and we can try to recapture, or we can desire or crave to bring that back into our present experience. It would be completely understandable based on what we are experiencing, the limitations and restrictions that are surrounding us. But this is about an active, dynamic, progressive growth. So take what you've learned from the past, but don't sit there expecting to receive the same feelings and the same emotions, because even if you try to reenact it, you've changed. You've changed more than you've even given yourself the appreciation in the moment to fully comprehend. And so it will be a disconcerting experience to try and live something out from the past with someone, or, you know, by returning to something and then finding that it just doesn't feel the same as it once did, okay? Doesn't mean it doesn't have value to kind of understand what it taught us, or see how it shaped us, or take the best of that situation and blend it into something that you can move forward with. That's going to be important, okay? Eight of Pentacles, though, for me is about your self-mastery of the situation, and therefore the month of February, okay? So you are coming up in a very dynamic, strong position, even if you feel conflicted, even if you feel doubtful. You know, you might be saying to me, Romy, that is not my reality, that is not my world right now. I think if you were able to see and observe what you're going through and look at your path and your journey and your unfolding from a different angle, from a higher perspective, actually you would see how much progress you have indeed made. Now the Eight of Wands again is the suggestion that even though you might feel like things are slowing down, there's actually a quickening, and it's an information rich month, okay? Everything that comes back around or is coming into your awareness is something important to be either integrated, accepted, to be cleared, transmuted, but certainly to pay attention to, because the signs and the synchronicities are going to be really, really powerful this month. Your intuition is going to be lightning strong. And actually what they're saying is that when you do speak, when you do communicate, get right to the heart of the matter as quickly as possible. You know, that's about, instead of kind of going in with that big, luminous, big picture view, which is so helpful and required so much of the time, but something about this month of February, it's like, let's just deal with what's right in front of us, because when you clear that energy out, it lets you move forward, and it's going to give you a sense of feeling like you are moving and progressing, and that actually you have a lot more empowerment and control in your own path than you might perceive at this moment in time. But all of these eights coming in, giving you that sense of manifestation of the work that you've been doing. So I'm really excited to feel that actually you're going to start to see almost a bit of a churn of energy in some aspects of your life that's felt really stagnant. Now your Five of Wands suggests that there is some disagreement and some tangled messages, you know, and I feel like you are going to be up against it. Like I said, there's something being called into question. You might be called out for something, okay? But this is giving you the opportunity to really reaffirm what your beliefs are, what your position is, what your plans look like, and just be really fearless in the courage of your conviction and knowing that what you're doing, if you're moving from a heart-centered place and actually based on knowing what you know, using what you have and developing what you've been given, then you're in a really good solid situation. And so that challenge and contrast might just come in by way of a little bit of a universal test, a little bit of a karmic test to say, have you really taken on board what so much of last year was meant to support and help you with by way of your spiritual growth, okay? But, there's a little bit of fire energy that's certainly coming through. Careful you don't get burned with someone else's crossfire is what I want to say. It feels like there's a little bit of like that energy shooting around you, Sagittarius. But to be honest, I've got you focused on something that's much more rich and meaningful for you. So I don't think you really have time to get caught up in a lot of the drama, even the observation of things that are playing out around you. If you do, it's sort of like it almost... you're in a situation where you can't do right for wrong. So I think there's going to be an intuitive knowing and awareness that if I get involved in that, there's not really an outcome that's going to serve my highest good or theirs at this moment in time. Now, your Three of Swords is incredibly clarifying. Don't be upheavaled by it. Sometimes we just need these moments of beautiful release. We need it. And if you've been working and investing your energy, and if you've been trying to progress and move something forward, sometimes we just hit those walls. We hit those moments of, emotional exhaustion, spiritual exhaustion. We've got, our mental health, our physical health, all these things we're trying to deal with against the backdrop of so much restlessness, change and upheaval in the collective at the moment, that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just to allow that beautiful, cleansing, cathartic moment of just saying, okay, I can't give any more in this moment. I can't give any more right now. And so very healing energy coming in by way of that Three of Swords, I feel, okay? It's almost just about the difference between, the tears being healing. They're healing tears. So there's something that's coming through, again, by the emergence of you doing the work and allowing a lot of this self-mastery to come forth, especially in your relationships. I think for many of you, you're going to see a different side of yourself come through in the month of February that's going to make you more confident and have this beautiful boost of self-esteem that you might not quite be as courageous and ready to make the final choice and decision that's been circulating or bubbling away in the background, but certainly you're going to feel much more like yourself and more clear thinking as you make your way toward the end of the month about what needs to be done. Now, retrograde energies, of course, bring back those wounds, those moments of just being triggered by people, situations and events, and perhaps some of you, there may be a little bit of a disagreement, a conflict or an argument that comes in that feels a bit upsetting through the course of this month. But again, don't let the indecision or the kind of self-doubt kick in, because really what we want to do is just keep powering, moving forward. So your Chariot energy coming in, the desire to succeed and overcome the challenges in spite of what you're feeling or what you are going through. If you are holding grief, if you are holding that upset, sometimes that's energy that we can work with and can help us more than any other to actually unlock some kind of creative spark that just drives us into a different pathway or a new direction. You may well be dealing with a situation or with people who are completely at odds to one another, and you're trying to keep control. You're trying to be the one that steadies the ship and makes things happen and keeps it on track. And that requires a tremendous amount of leveled, grounded energy and being very in the moment. Now that against a kind of vacant, spaced out, challenging retrograde by way of communication means it's not an easy feat. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have moments where you just feel frustrated, exasperated, and you actually just need to sit down and have a good release by way of emotional energy. But there is a suggestion that you can absolutely power forward. For some of you, you might be experiencing conversations that mean you're taking a different path to somebody else, okay? That might mean an important connection or person in your life. And so there may be some upset or challenge that comes in association with that. But again, understand what we're doing is building this beautiful new solid foundation for which you can bloom, and you can start to harvest and command the energy that's right for you in your path. And maybe you won't see that quite yet, but in hindsight, when you look back, you'll realize that when that path diverged and when it took a different way forward for you, then actually it was the beginning of something extraordinary. It was the beginning of an unlocking of something entirely new for you. But understandably, these different experiences can hit us heavy. They can come at us sometimes unexpectedly. And it's the expectation, isn't it? It's the expectation that we may have had around how something was set to work out, and then those redirects that come in. And we have to be incredibly adaptable during retrograde energies, because the best laid plans don't always come together in the way that we anticipated or hoped for. But don't let that stop you, okay? Because actually things are going to right themselves, and you're going to be given that sign and that validation much sooner than you think as to what the reason was. So your animal energy card is Truth and the Jackal. Coming in, and like I said, just a very empowered, strong energy. Look at the bursts, the star bursts coming out behind you. You look fit, you look ready physically to take this on. You're fully supported. There's something about the mask not revealing everything. So perhaps you're not ready to give all the information yet. The truth needs to land for you first, Sagittarius, before you're ready to have that conversation, that important conversation. But certainly you look amped up and charged up with this. And I think you need to carry that energy all the way through this month. It's absolutely illuminated in the rest of your spread here as well, okay? So we have these inspiration cards. These are from Autumn Skye, really beautiful cards to work with. You can find these on Etsy. Let's see what we've got. They've got affirmations on the back. Okay, so we've got the hands, just allowing this beautiful transformational energy of the butterflies and all the sacred geometry coming through here. Integration. Release worries, commit to your well-being, be patient with yourself. You're growing, let go, breathe. Beautiful. And, retrograde is a perfect time to integrate so much of what we've been through and to revisit and have that sense of active evaluation about where we find ourselves right now. Committing to yourself through the course of this month is going to be so exceptionally important. Being patient with yourself, I think, is echoed very much with your Seven of Pentacles. Not everything can come together all at once, but certainly you should start to see the beautiful little shoots of things, and actually the flow of something that I think you've been holding on to or holding out for a really long time. So Sagittarius, this is a general reading. If you'd like to join me for the extended version, you can find the link for that in the description box below. If you're new to the channel, we will go into additional insights and messages for another 20 minutes or so. In the first instance, I just invite you to think about a question that might not have been answered in the main part of your spread here. I'll pull a couple of cards for you here. Okay, and I'm just going to clarify this main reading, starting with the Ten of Pentacles. Bringing in the Knight of Swords energy, so it's air coming through, and Judgment. We have the Tower showing up here, and the Lovers. So perhaps, a bit of a shift or a change coming in by way of partnerships, an agreement, or a relationship. But also the spark of something new. So here's your card showing up, the Knight of Wands. The Three of Wands, beautiful. So this is going to be the way out of your indecision or that choice that is coming through for you. If you have that energy of I don't know how this is going to work, and there's a little bit of self-trust emerging, all you need to do is just really focus on the day in front of you, the week in front of you. This is a month that actually that short-term vision questing is going to be exceptionally valuable. I think that, you know, there is this sense of at times you feeling so incredibly stuck, and yet the answer is like literally right in front of you. Even if people disagree with your approach this month, I don't really see it stopping you, Sagittarius. I just have you kind of powering forward and just making the most of what is showing up for you and the advantages that are going to be given. And honestly, there's some really beautiful opportunities that want to give you a sense of reassurance this month. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. If you want to join me for the extended, link is in the description box underneath. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and my work. I appreciate you, and I'm just going to send you beautiful blessings for February. Take good care. Bye-bye.